How you doing, YouTube family? Today is Wednesday, June 11th, 2025. It's your man Big D, and I'm back with another one. Want to thank all you good folk out there in YouTube land for continuing to show support to my son and I. We both greatly appreciate it. Thank you. Well, family, I'm back with another video, and I happened chance across this brother's video here. Um, Titled so it's the name of his channel is called Tony's Cheating Stories. Man, this guy, he have some doozies of the stories that he comes across of women cheating on their husbands. Um it is just crazy, but we gonna go ahead and check one of them out, and I think I'm going to do a couple reaction videos on a couple stories um that he have on his channel, because when you look at it, man, when you start factoring in all the hypocrisy that comes with some women, man, I think it's always very good to have real life examples that people can draw from, things that they can witness and see for themselves up close and personal, even if it's by way of a story, because this his stories are very detailed. But family, you know what? Let's go ahead and check my man out and see what he got to talk about. Here, one of these fascinating stories.
Story time. My wife faked a family emergency out of state to spend a week with him. Tuesday morning started like any other until my wife burst through the bedroom door with tears streaming down her face. Her sister had been in a terrible car accident, she claimed, and was in critical condition at a hospital 3 states away. The whole story came out in rushed, panicked sentences about how she needed to leave immediately to be with her family. I offered to come with her, to drive her there, to help in any way possible. She refused everything, insisting she needed to handle this alone with her family. Within 2 hours, she had packed a bag and was walking out the door for what she said would be a week-long stay. Something felt off about the entire situation, but I couldn't pinpoint what exactly was wrong. My wife had always been close with her sister, so the emotional reaction seemed genuine enough. But there were small details that didn't add up. She packed her nicest clothes instead of comfortable travel wear. Red flags show up when we least expect them, and the fact that she didn't want her husband to come, or at least say something to the effect of coming a day or two later, is kind of suspicious. Her makeup bag went into the suitcase along with jewelry she never wore for family visits. When I asked for the hospital name so I could send flowers, she said she'd text me the details when she arrived. That text never came. I called her that evening to check how her sister was doing. The conversation was brief, and she sounded distracted, claiming she was too exhausted to talk much. Background noise suggested she was in a restaurant rather than a hospital waiting room. When I mentioned sending flowers again, she quickly changed the subject. By Thursday, my gut instinct was screaming that something was wrong with this situation. Well, I always say in this situation, pay attention. And most of the time, you will pick up the little things, but sometimes it's hard. I called her sister directly. The phone rang twice before a very much alive and healthy voice answered, clearly confused about why I was calling to check on her condition. She hadn't been in any accident. She hadn't even spoken to my wife in over a month. The sick feeling in my stomach told me exactly what was really happening. After hanging up with her sister, I sat in my kitchen for an hour, processing what I just learned. My wife of 9 years had fabricated an elaborate lie to spend a week somewhere else. The question wasn't whether she was cheating anymore. The question was, who was she with and how long this had been going on? I started thinking back over the past few months, looking for patterns I'd missed. She'd been working late more often, claiming her boss was demanding extra hours for a big project. Weekend errands that used to take an hour somehow stretched into entire afternoons. Her phone had become permanently glued to her hand, and she took that thing everywhere. I remembered the day 3 months ago when she came home from the grocery store unusually happy. She'd run into an old college friend, she said, and they'd caught up for a few minutes in the parking lot. At the time, I thought it was sweet how excited she seemed about reconnecting with someone from her past. Now, that conversation took on a completely different meaning. Her boss would probably assume she was dealing with a legitimate family crisis. I decided to call my wife's work number, asking to speak with her. The receptionist told me she was out for the week due to a family emergency, so she'd cover her tracks at work too. This wasn't some spur of the moment decision. This was planned, calculated, and deliberate. Saturday morning, I made another discovery that filled in more pieces of the puzzle. Our joint savings account showed a withdrawal of $800 from the day before she left. She'd taken cash to avoid creating any traceable spending records. The level of premeditation was staggering. While looking through old bank statements, I noticed a pattern of smaller cash withdrawals over the past 2 months. $20 here, $50 there. She'd been building up to this week for a while. The rage hit me Sunday morning when the full scope of her deception became clear. I spent the day making a list of everything I knew and everything I needed to find out.
So, family, this is what do y'all think about this? Imagine you married to someone and she fabricates an elaborate lie saying that her sister was in a terrible car accident and that she needed to leave to go check on her sister's well-being. You find all along the way, I guarantee you there were hints. There were things that this man was missing because that's what happened, man. See, when you get too complacent and for whatever the reason, you just don't want to come to grips with the fact that your wife, your girl, your lady, whatever title you want to give her, man, it's a distinct possibility that she is getting her walls worked like there's no tomorrow. And no men want to come to grasp with that. And what men have to understand is this: I don't give a damn if you, I don't care if you packing 13 inches of wood. I don't care if you long dome silver. You can have the six pack, more than six figures, be over 6 feet tall, with meat for days, got a sloan. And for some and when a woman comes to the fact that that ain't good enough for her, she'll leave that for a little Ray Ray. That's right, I said it. All the time, women will F over a high a man of value, a decent man, for just so she can go get her little poo nanny uh worked over. So I can only imagine how this man felt. This man wife done told him a damn lie, an elaborate scheme, and knowing that she finna go on a weekend, she finna go on a getaway. She finna go on a vacation. A vacation. But the problem is she ain't going on no vacation with her husband. She going on a vacation with the next man. Man, let me tell you something. It's one thing, it's one thing for a woman to cheat, right? You know, woman go, I'm saying, she go out, get her little cheeks clap, you know what I'm saying, for a couple hours with the little side dude. But man, when a woman has the audacity to cheat and she is going to not only cheat for a couple hours, but she gonna give this man open access to that poo nanny until he don't want no more. She gonna give him the because obviously she's staying the night with whoever this dude is. Oh yeah, that's right. Sister don't know what man called what her husband called the sister. Sister like what? And I ain't talked to my sister in a damn month. Call the job. They like, man, she gon' she got these emergency, family emergency. So this woman done even lied to the job. So it's bad. Not only is it bad to lie to the husband, but man, when you go to lie to your place of employment, the place that pays your bills, that's just despicable.
Her car had GPS tracking through our insurance company's safe driving program. Monday morning, I logged into the account and pulled up her location history. She was at a resort 2 hours north of where she claimed to be, the same resort where she'd been making regular day trips over the past month. I screenshotted everything and saved it to a folder on my computer. Well, this is the best way. Gather all the evidence first before confrontation. Tuesday, I called a divorce attorney and scheduled a consultation for the following week. I wasn't sure if I wanted a divorce yet, but I wanted to know my options. The lawyer told me to start documenting everything and to avoid confronting her until I had a clear plan. I spent Wednesday researching the resort online. It was the kind of place people went for romantic getaways, not family emergencies. The photo gallery showed couples walking hand in hand along scenic trails and sharing intimate dinners. Thursday, I made a decision that would change everything. I was going to drive up there and see this situation with my own eyes. But first, I was going to make sure she couldn't just disappear if things went badly. Before I left, I took care of all the financial loose ends and opened up a new bank account. I scheduled automatic payments for all of my household bills, for which I was personally responsible. If she wanted to blow up our marriage, she wasn't going to destroy my financial stability in the process. Friday morning, I loaded my camera into the car and started driving north. I had no idea what I was going to find, but I knew I needed proof of whatever was happening. The 2 hour drive gave me time to think about what I'd say when I saw her. I arrived at the resort just after noon and immediately spotted her car in the parking lot. The license plate I'd been staring at for years was right there in front of me. I parked 3 rows away and walked toward the main building with my camera ready. Gathering objective evidence became my primary focus because emotional reactions wouldn't protect my interest in what was coming next. The lobby was busy with couples checking in and out, and I found a seat near the windows overlooking the pool area. After 30 minutes of waiting, I saw them. My wife was walking hand in hand with the man I recognized from her college photos, the same friend she claimed to bump into at the grocery store 3 months ago. I know a lot of people would say confront her or maybe even the guy she is with, but losing your temper in these situations only makes matters worse. Just saying.
You know what? I gotta admit that whoever this husband was, man, he kept his composure. He got all his fights together before he decided to pull the trigger and do what he had to do. But the main thing is he didn't go up there and cause no scene. He ain't confront nobody. Cause the last thing you want to do is wind up getting yourself in a sticky situation or getting yourself hurt. But you don't know what the dude that she who she messing around with, you don't know what's on his mind. You don't know what kind of character he is. So, you know, family, I can only imagine how this man felt because it's like you you marry this person and this person tells a bald-faced lie, look you dead in your eyes and lie to your face, only to find out she walking hand in hand at a resort. Now, like I said, it's one thing for a woman to cheat, family, but when a woman will go away on a little uh a vacation and give the next man who clapping them cheeks, the one she cheating with, just let him have that box all night long, however he want it. Like I said, it's one thing to cheat. You know, she go do her things for a few hours and come back home. That's terrible within itself. But to go off and stay the night after night and day and after night, man, can you imagine? Can you imagine how many miles he put on this man's wife in a matter of a few days? Because you and I both know, Buddy knew she knows she married, and it just makes that poo nanny all the better for Buddy. In the back of his mind, oh man, I'm blowing somebody else's wife's cheeks out.
They were both wearing matching resort bathrobes and looked completely comfortable together. I took several photos through the window, making sure to capture both their faces clearly. They spent the afternoon by the pool, acting like a couple who'd been together for years. The casual intimacy between them made it obvious this wasn't their first time here. Around 4 o'clock, they went back inside. I waited in the lobby and watched as they walked toward the elevators together. Once they disappeared into the elevator, I knew I had seen enough to confirm what was really happening. I didn't need to follow them or find out any more details. Instead, I drove home and spent the weekend preparing for her return. My approach focused on protecting my emotional and financial well-being rather than seeking immediate confrontation. Monday evening, she walked through our front door with her suitcase and the story about how difficult the week had been. Her sister was recovering well, she said, but it had been touch and go for a while.
Man, can you see the elaborate scheme, this master plan that this woman fabricated? Man, she came up with a mission impossible scheme. That's right. This lady had planned this. You know, when she was $20 here, $40 there. The husband, is so subtle that he didn't pay it no attention. But yeah, man, she was saving up for this little trip. And the hurtful thing is that the lie that she created, man, listen, she don't have no respect for this man. And I'm gonna be honest with you. When he said that, when he said he initially called the attorneys to see what his options were, and that he was not sure if he wanted to get a divorce, man, you out your rabbit ass mind. You're not sure if you want to get a divorce. My good sir, this woman done let, but you don't know how many times Buddy done clapped your wife cheeks. You don't know how many miles he done put on your wife. You don't have no clue, sir. Yeah, you need to sit. You need to send her back to the streets quickly, ASAP, immediately.
I let her talk for 10 minutes before I placed the printed photos on the kitchen table. The look on her face told me everything I needed to know. She was busted and she knew it. She tried to explain, to justify it. I cut her off and told her to save it. We were done. From start to finish, the divorce was final in 8 months. I kept the house, she kept her guilt. Evidence and documentation had protected my interest throughout the legal process, just as my attorney had advised. Sometimes the best revenge is simply letting people face the consequences. I'm rebuilding my life now, surrounded by people who value honesty. The most important investment I made was in myself, protecting my dignity, mental health, and future opportunities. It's a much better foundation than I had before. Update. 1 year later, a lot of people have been asking for an update, so here's where things stand now. The divorce settlement held up exactly as negotiated. In addition to keeping the house, we split what savings we had. I kept some of the furniture and my new car, and she kept her car and I was able to keep all of my other assets. My lawyer's advice about documenting everything proved invaluable during the proceedings. Her attempt to claim emotional distress and ask for alimony fell apart when we presented the resort photos. It's hard to argue you deserve spousal support when you're caught on camera vacationing with your affair partner. The most interesting development happened about 4 months after our divorce was final. One Saturday, I ran into one of my ex-wife's co-workers at Costco. Apparently, my ex-wife's boss found out about her fake family emergency. To this day, no one knows how her boss found out about her fake family emergency. She was terminated for falsifying the reason for her time off. Losing her job meant she had to move back in with her parents at 32 years old. The affair partner situation imploded on its own timeline. I never reached out to his family, but somehow certain things have a way of coming into the light. His wife found out through mutual friends who had seen them around town together. Their divorce was apparently much messier than ours. He had significant assets and a medical practice to protect. His wife fought for everything and got most of it. My ex-wife went from thinking she'd landed a doctor to watching him lose his financial stability in his own divorce. As for my personal life, I've been seeing someone new for the past 3 months. She's an assistant store manager for a retail chain. I met through a friend, and the difference in character is remarkable. Honest communication feels effortless when you're with someone who values integrity. I'm not rushing into anything serious, but it's nice to remember what healthy relationships feel like. The house feels like home again instead of a crime scene. I redecorated completely, removing all traces of my previous marriage. New furniture, new paint, new everything. It was therapeutic in a way I hadn't expected. My mental health has improved dramatically since removing toxic people from my life. I sleep better, work more productively, and actually enjoy my free time again. For anyone going through something similar, my biggest advice is to trust your instincts. If something feels wrong, investigate it properly. Don't let guilt or fear of confrontation keep you in a situation that's damaging your well-being. Document everything. Get legal advice early and prioritize protecting yourself financially and emotionally. The truth always comes out eventually, and when it does, you want to be in the strongest position possible. 1 year later, I can honestly say my life is better than it was during my marriage. That's not something I'd expected to be able to say, but here we are. Until next time. Story time.
Well, family, what you think about this? Yet another example why most men nowadays are terrified to get married because you don't know really and truly who you're marrying. And before I forget, whoever this gentleman is, the victim of this atrocious crime that his wife committed against him, the way that he kept his composure, done his own little investigation, documented all the facts, and because of that, this man came out smelling like a rose in court. And for that, he deserves a round of applause and a salute. Good job, sir. Good job. Damn right, I ain't got no problem with it. So, ma'am, you gonna lie on your sister. You gonna lie to your employer. That's why they fired your ass. And then you thought you thought you leveled up. You thought you elevated your situation. See, what she was trying to do is she thought she had a doctor. She thought the doctor was gonna leave his wife, leave his situation. And in her mind, oh, this is hypergamy at its best. I'm gonna level up. I'm gonna get the man I should have had from the very beginning. I'm gonna get the man that my husband is not. In the end, family, you reap what you sow. Well, family, always remember, be more tomorrow than you were yesterday. Peace.